Hey y'all, we're gonna pull some cards for y'all today. Get a message out. It's gonna be general, so if it don't apply, just let it fly. Okay? I'm not true to this. I'm new to this, so if it don't resonate, don't hesitate to go and just catch another vibe. But I appreciate you either way, though. Hope you're having a good day. Say a little prayer before we start. God is good. God is great. Let us thank Him for this day. If there's truth in these cards we play, let the truth be what they say. I love you if nobody told you today, okay? Don't sweat the dumb shit, because it's all dumb shit. Lord, I ask you to protect us from any evil that they try and send our way. Because if they knew like how I knew, you did not play, okay? Thank you, Spirit. One more for good measure. Oops. I want to be right for a second there. We're going to split the deck and see what's unfolding next, okay? Once again, it's going to be general. Don't force nothing to fit. Don't get mad when it don't, okay? Let's see. Bottom of the deck, we got the Ten of Cups in reverse. A little bit of unhappiness. We're going to see what's unfolding next. Let's see. If the cards don't talk, don't worry. I'll pull one from the top. So we got the Tower to the Queen of Wands in reverse. All I heard was, ah! Bottom of the deck, we got the Two of Pentacles. So overall, there seems to be some sort of balance here, being maybe restored or being implemented after some sort of period of what you think might be lost is actually liberation here. I feel like maybe you was in a period of kind of restricting your own flow, you know what I mean? And standing on ground that just really wasn't solid. Because the Tower kind of talks about the divine needing to intervene. And what you think is lost is actually liberation here. This is purification here. But with the with the Queen of Wands in reverse next to it, I feel like there's a need for you to ask yourself what's really important to you and not kind of go against yourself. And as you go through this period of liberation and this little shake-up period, because life could be kind of shaking you up period. Life could be kind of shaking you up in this period here. Find some sort of return to some sort of balance. Whether it just be in, just your work life and your home life, whether it just be within your passions and your responsibilities. You're free, but you're also uncertain of whatever it is, whether it just be your creative endeavors, whatever it is that you're trying to put your focus on and keep your intention on. I feel like there's a lack of creativity here. So where's this instability coming from? Oh, actually, I kind of want to know. Because it feels like an internal tower. With the Tower next to the Queen of Wands. Feels like this Queen of Wands is maybe going through some sort of tower moment in their life. Could be a fire sign. Any sign, though. I feel like maybe you're being freed from this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. Somebody who is pessimistic, you know what I mean, paranoid, irritable, moody. Emotionally unintelligent with the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. But there's a dismantling around some sort of short-sighted way of seeing yourself here. So we're going to see if this Queen of Wands is good or bad here. Just let me cook. But yeah, heavy on the fire signs here. What's one step we could take now? Well, really more so, why is this instability showing up? after a period of liberation. Thank you, Spirit. Because it's time for a change. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, but the Death card out here. Yeah, this is an internal tower. It's like out with the old, in with the new. So Death card, Scorpio energy out here. I'm just kind of seeing this is time for you to get things moving again. What you think is lost is actually liberation here. This is transformation and change. And I feel like I was saying, this is an internal tower with this Queen of Wands in reverse, because maybe you were somebody who didn't really believe in themselves and didn't want to go after the things that they believed in, or was, also somebody who doesn't really believe that they're capable of doing anything. You know what I mean? But it's time for a change here. With the Death card, this is talking about transformation here. With the Tower, too, it's kind of double confirmation on transformation. It's the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. And it was destined for things to kind of move in your favor. Once you got away from people who really wasn't in alignment with you. With the Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, Seven of Wands upright. You had to learn how to protect your investments and stand up for what you believe in and set some boundaries, some strong boundaries here. So now I feel like that's the question I would ask now. What's one step we can take now? But I still feel like it's not time yet. Even though I seen the Wheel of Fortune, it's like this is the time at the bottom of the deck. But it's not the time to be asking those type of questions on what type of steps can I take now. I feel like you're moving away from this energy of lack and holding yourself back. What transpired? What inspired this change? It's a lot that inspired this change, but what's one thing specifically that inspired this change? Please, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. We got the Six of Cups in reverse. Being stuck in the past. With the Fool at the bottom of the deck, yeah. Due to just impulse and uncertainty. But with the Six of Cups in reverse, I feel like that's the biggest thing that had to change. You being stuck in the past caused this transformation here, because being stuck in the past kind of put you up in this tower here and led to a season of just, not necessarily just lack when I think about prosperity, but more so creativity and just, belief within yourself and the things that you want to do with yourself. Because the Queen of Wands in reverse is just somebody who is not sure of themselves. It's not even just grounded in themselves, but not grounded with the way that they want to even show up in the world. It's like an identity crisis in a sense, especially with the Death card. But it's like, your old identity had to be dismantled, because that identity that you were maybe operating under was like just really somebody who was distorted and drowned in the past. Maybe you always needed something from somebody else. Or maybe you just had things from your past in general, whether it just be your childhood or your upbringing, that just maybe robbed you of your innocence and your belief in just the path that you were going on regardless. Yeah, with the hermit at the bottom of the deck behind the fool, yeah. It's your own process of individuation. What type of work was done to dismantle this, I guess, outdated belief structure? Or just really to, what kind of work was done to really dismantle this old way of seeing yourself? I'd like to know. Maybe it was just shadow work. We did see the hermit out here. We all got shadow work to do. Oh, Eight of Wands popped right out. And it came out in reverse. When I see the Eight of Wands in reverse, I see that maybe you had to learn with the bottom of the deck. Yeah, a decision had to be made. Two of Swords in reverse. A decision had to be made to kind of maybe not act so impulsively. Because with the Two of Swords in reverse, yeah, with the Sun card after that, the Two of Swords in reverse kind of gives me the impression that you got the opportunity to react mindlessly or like act blindlessly or act blindly. And I did kind of ask what type of decision needed to be made. And clear as day here, we got the Two of Swords pretty saying what type of work needed to be done. You had to make a decision to kind of stop moving from impulse. Your direction is way more important than your speed. And even with the Eight of Swords in reverse, it's giving me something that's blocked. It's just like maybe you had to move on from people from your past, restrict people from your past. Eight of Wands upright talk about like harnessing your passions to me. Something moving quickly. But in reverse, it gives me like a strong stop, like a hard stop. And with the Death card, it's even more confirmation that you just had to kind of put an end to this feeling of reminiscing. That's kind of what I see. Let go of what was, let go of the past, and kind of keep moving forward. So now that's kind of where it comes up again. Once again, what's one step we could take now to kind of move through this blocked energy? And this instability, rather. What's one step we could take now to move through this instability, through this change? Thank you, Spirit. Perfect card to get. Temperance, upright. Do things in moderation. The Temperance is pretty much you just being a master alchemist. You being somebody who is mutable, but also tolerant, neutral, calm on the surface. It's kind of like the Temperance card gives me like buoyant energy. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you can swim, but can you float? Can you remain buoyant? Which is just like on the surface appear calm and tolerant and neutral, even if you are somebody who can step into that depth. Like I was saying, in general, your direction is way more important than your speed. You're learning how to pour into your own cup and self-regulate as well. And that does come with a level of accountability and closing yourself off to certain energies as well, because the Eight of Wands is in reverse. It's like you do have to restrict certain energies, especially things from your past, because the past can't go forward with you when you're trying to change. And you are going through a major transformation here with the death card out here in order to balance things out in your favor. But there needs to be a mix of balance with your boldness, because we do have a lot of wands out here. So, what areas in our life currently require the most attention for balance? Or is that how I want to frame that question? What areas in your life currently require the most balance? I think that's how I want to word that. What areas in your life require the most balance? Attention, too, for balance, but what areas in your life need the most balance? What areas in your life need the most balance? Just one, please, Spirit. What area specifically? And that's what I see. That's what I get for asking. I got what I wanted from it because I got multiple cards. I say areas. What area specifically requires the most attention when it comes to balance? That's why does it feel like I'm not saying that right? I think what I'm asking is what area in your life do you need to balance the most? What area of your life do you need balance in the most? Why does it sound weird? I don't know. We just need to figure out what area in life you need balance in specifically. Just one area specifically that requires the most attention. That needs balance out the most. What area of your life needs balance out the most? There we go. What area in your life needs balanced out the most? There we go. Couldn't get that out there. That's why I couldn't get this out of the cards. Just one specific area. What area specifically, Spirit? Apologize. It was. Here we are, and it's face down. The world in reverse. Bottom of the deck, we got the Page of Pentacles. And I kind of got this from the Eight of Wands too, but the world kind of confirms it for me. With the Eight of Wands in reverse next to the Temperance, and now with the World card out here, the area that I could see that needs balance, that, you know, what area needs there I go again. The area that needs the most balance in your life currently is as you continue to learn how to self-regulate and go through this transformation and undergo this transformation, removing these outdated beliefs and perspectives and projections is what I really want to say. You're not, the biggest thing I guess I could say is don't take on other people's projections. Because with the world in reverse, it's just like something's not over. You know what I mean? And I feel like what's not over is you still learning how to not take on other people's projections. Because the Eight of Wands in reverse, it's like it gives me something coming at you. It's like, but it's in reverse. It's like, so it's not coming at you. You're learning how to not let things or people or influences from your past kind of determine the way you're going to show up in the world today. and what other people got to say about you, or what the way that you perceive things, or the way that you do things, whatever it is for you, whatever, even if the world could look at it as like a mirror, whatever way you are showing up, like, don't let anybody else's projections or expectations on how they think you should be determine the way you show up in the world. Because with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, this is like the path of becoming sure of yourself and grounded and knowing yourself and practical. And also seeing that there's room for you to kind of do that and be dedicated to that path, you know what I mean? And just kind of stepping on it, you know what I mean? Not necessarily for the first time, but kind of embarking on it. Like, because when I think about the pages, it's like it's the path. It's you kind of stepping onto that path now. And behind that, yeah, the Eight of Swords upright, it's like you step on that path and you're trapped in your head. And that's where I feel like you're learning how to regulate. Because being an individual is important. You're not going to be somebody who is seen, not necessarily right, but seen in the best light by everybody. Especially not people from your past when you've changed as much as you did. Because the Death card, Scorpio energy, is the most transformative energy in the deck. The type of changes that you had to go through, especially when it comes to just believing in yourself and strengthening your own foundation, your foundation was shaken, completely stripped. The divine came in and threw a thunderbolt at the top of the shit that you were standing in because it was for your own good in a sense. And I'm not saying that to be cliche, but it's just like with the tower out here specifically and the death card being upright, what you really thought was lost was actually liberation. That old you that didn't believe in themselves, wasn't confident enough to stand up in themselves, stand up to other people, probably did get bullied. Whether this even you just be bullying yourself, trying to be a taskmaster, like learn to have a little bit more compassion for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to take on too much and then feeling over responsible for everything, everybody else getting all of the gains while you carrying all of the weight. The givers can learn to take a little bit and the takers can learn to give a little bit. With the death card here, there's a major transformation around the way that you maybe even view your past and view people from your past. Now, since all of that is transformed, there's no longer going to be projections, because the Eight of Wands also talks about like a message. It's like there's no room for outdated projections in this reality as you continue to learn to regulate yourself and figure out who you are. Those projections don't fit into the cups that you have now within your hand. Those projections don't resonate the same way that they do because they're on the surface and you're not afraid of the depth. You know how to remain calm on the surface so they don't touch you anymore. You think about it, the way that these cards is facing even right here, these projections is going back to the past. You know what I mean? When you think about those things from the past, it's like they don't touch this Temperance card. They're going away from it. They're going away from it right now because those projections can't touch you as you continue to learn how to regulate and realize that you really don't have any control over the way other people perceive you. With the World in reverse, it's like, but that's why it's not over. That's why you haven't really completed this alchemical process of learning to just kind of find harmony within yourself due to maybe even some underlying fear from your childhood. But it was all really just projection. And you got away from that shit. Now you learn how to regulate. And now you're being redirected. And it's like you got to just kind of be dedicated and grounded within yourself and keep an open mind. Learn how to be a little bit more practical and set realistic goals. And realize that, like, you know, there'll be things maybe outside of you, like I was saying, like, you know, in the background, whether it just be people's opinions or perspectives or whatever the case may be, things outside of your control that you should not focus on this path. Never confuse what you can't control with what you can't control. Okay? Let's get one more. Figure out what question I want to ask intentionally with this World card. What cycles are incomplete? What cycles are incomplete? What cycle specifically is incomplete? See how fast that came out when I intentionally asked? The Six of Wands in reverse. Bottom of the deck, we got the Six of Swords upright. 6-6 could be significant. Like I said, pretty much taking on other people's projections. 6 of Wands upright talks about victory. 6 of Wands in reverse talks about defeat. It's like you still kind of feeling defeated. Maybe that's not, this is, and due to some sort of unresolved, whether it just be you, when I think of unresolved, I was going to say unresolved issue, but with the 6 of Wands in reverse, I feel like maybe you often start things that you don't finish and then you talk bad about yourself. And that's just not fair to yourself. Like I said, you need to have a little bit more compassion for yourself. With the 6 of Swords upright, it's like, calm down. It's like, you're no longer up the creek without a paddle. You've made it a lot further than you were here, and you're learning how to just flow as you grow. With the Page of Pentacles, once again, you have to keep an open mind with this level of mutability that they're learning to develop, because this sense of defeat doesn't come from. There's a word that I just learned too. It doesn't come from the what you are surrendering to. Actually, it comes from, the word that I'm going to use is capitulation. Yes, you feel defeated. However, you're no longer feeling defeated because you feel like you lost. It's because you're no longer fighting the direction that your life is supposed to go in. So this is kind of the process of capitulating. You're surrendering, not because you feel defeated, but because you're not fighting the direction that your life is supposed to go in now. You have to keep an open mind here in order to kind of move away from this restriction and this mental prison. And then with the Sun card, this is the highest vibrational card in the tarot deck. This is freedom. This is clarity. This is mental, and not even just mental, but just like, this is really things being illuminated to you. This is the truth. The truth of the matter is, like I was saying, right now you might feel restricted. You might be in your head. You might be unsure. You might be a little bit like, you know what I mean, feeling like you up the creek without a paddle. However, you need to open your mind. You know what I mean? If you shift your perspective at the things you're looking at, to the things you look at shift. You're not surrendering to the moment that you're in currently because you're giving up, because you're defeated, because you're too weak. No, you have everything that you need. As soon as your head came off that pillow, baby, today's a new day. And there's sunshine too. However, I do believe that you need to capitulate, which is surrender, because of the fact that we're not going to fight the direction the way our life is supposed to go in. 6 in numerology in general talks about peace. It's time to calm down. It's time for smooth sailing. This is a beneficial change. This is out with the old, in with the new. This is you learning how to stand up for the person that you were as a child who didn't have the protection that they needed, but also protect the people that you love enough and move them away from things that could potentially bring them harm. You know what I mean? This is you learning how to be a true leader here. So this sense of defeat and this loss and all of this, what you think is loss overall, is entirely liberation here, especially with the Sun card out here. You just got to continue to have an open mind and keep keep a practical plan about you. Keep your wits about you. Keep your feet underneath you. Like I said, everything that you have, everything that you need is already at your disposal when you wake up and lift your head off the pillow. You got a new day, a new opportunity. You could become completely new overnight. So I feel like this is a new level of optimism and self-confidence being restored here, due to you realizing that it's time to capitulate. Not surrendering because we're weak or we're defeated or because we lost, but because we're done fighting the direction our life is supposed to go in. There's a freer, more stronger, better variation of you on the opposite side of letting go. So just take that leap, friend. I believe in you and I love you, and I hope this message resonated. Once again, like I said, I'm not true to this, I'm new to this. So if you do like to read it, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Don't hesitate to just tell me what did resonate, what didn't resonate. Just keep it real with me, because I do want to learn and grow with this. I just want to say thank you for being here if you made it this far in the reading. And like I said, please let me know what resonated with you specifically in the comments, because it might not have been everything, might not have been anything, but if it was something, anything, please. Vulnerability is the heartbeat of all intimate relationships, and honesty is about a part of true intimacy. So just keep it real with me, because I'm trying to keep it real with you. So yeah, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you in the next reading, okay? Thank you so much.